out of town.
And Chris.
Okay. And Chris, oh, yes, I'm expecting Chris, thank you. We still have a quorum. First item is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion in a second? Approve the agenda? Are there any changes needed? All right, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. All right, that carries unanimous.
Here's Chris.
Okay,
Hey, there he is. Don't see him, but we know he's there.
he's on Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. Okay,
there he
wonderful.
is, yeah.
Okay, yay. All right, second item is approval of the minutes from October 10th, 2023. Can I get a motion in a second to approve the minutes?
I so move, I read them, they were good.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion and second to approve the minutes of October 10th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, that carries unanimous. Next, we have a presentation that I'm really excited about. I want you all to meet Chris Montesinos, who is our new Economic Development Director. He has been here since December. And you will probably remember in the council meetings, Robbie has been talking for a whole year about a guy from Villa Rica that he was going to try to hire.
I never said Middle Rica. I protected his.
I know that.
I protected.
That he was going to try to hire because he was such a great grant writer. And he finally managed to get Chris with us. And today he's going to show you an application for a grant for Rico Park that he and Daryl developed together in about 1 week. And so, is there anything you'd like to say by way of introduction?
Sure. Happy to be here. Diane and I have worked together extensively for the last 4 months. With our biggest supporters, I would say. Just a little background about this grant. This was something that just landed in our lap, literally. I was called by a representative from Lowe's. It was actually from the distribution center, not from the big box store. And they wanted to do a project in one of our parks. I was like, well, which park? It was the Willis Park, which is not in the city. And I said, well, you'll have to get in touch with the city of South Fulton. And they said, no, we want to do one in your town. So they were very specific, even though they're located in Palmetto, they wanted to do something in Chat Hill. So we put our heads together, we brainstormed some ideas and some schemes, and then we settled on what we thought would be the most practical from the standpoint of scale, timeline, the community impact, and also already having some of the cost estimates. And so I put together this little showpiece here, which provided a narrative around what makes the Rico ball field so unique. One of the things that I've learned, being here a very short amount of time, is that the ball field programs there are geared for very young children up to middle school, and that it's a non-scoring, non-competitive environment, which just fosters a love for sports and recreation, and avoids the temptation of the competition and the which would normally have sports. That's maybe and parlay that into the values of the Lowe's Corporation being very family focused. So I'm trying to touch on all the for them. This is a national competition, so we really have to stand out for this ones that make our project special. So what Daryl got together, we decided that we were going to do a picnic pavilion over where the little pirate ship is now, and relocate that to another part of the park. Because it's near the septic, it's near the utility lines that are in place. So it'd be much more affordable to be located up close to near the concession stand, far enough away back from the ball field not to cause any potential hazards. But when we were meeting with the Lowe's folks, they were like, well, what else? What else? What else? And so we're like, well, Gerald said, well, the fencing, you can talk about get the fencing fixed, and it's, and then there's the wood on the threads and the seats on the bleachers, and we cooked it all together. Go big or go home. So, this is not a project that the city initiated, it's something that we definitely jumped in, feet first. I thought it was extremely important to note that even though we are a very small city, population-wise, we're a very large community. Because we're not just geographically confined to our proximity, especially with respect to our parks and recreation. We draw from all over the sub-region. So I did an analysis using some of our GIS software of what is within a 10-mile radius of Rico Park, because that's generally where we're going to draw from. That's our market, and we've got 100,000 plus people. So when I'm going low saying, this might impact little bitty, Chat Hills, the reality is that there's a larger realize that this could potentially impact. This is the breakdown of what they are socioeconomically, demographic wise, racially, etc. Looking at the even the breakdown of the age structures, and it looks like we've got about 30,000 kids in that market. So I think it's a great opportunity to put, the low stamp on a great community project, and it'd be great PR, be great for the city, and we're hopeful it pans out. If it doesn't, we'll reapply or we'll look for some other opportunities.
Awesome.
And I think I emailed you copies of
And
this.
which I forwarded to the Parks Commission.
And I also
But
wanted
if you
to,
have extra print, do you have extra print ones?
I just have one.
Okay.
I also want to take an opportunity to share with you that the Chattahoochee Hills Convention and Visitors Bureau has rolled out a new branding program. And I was playing around with it yesterday, and I'm going to hand these out, but these are just some ideas of how this branding can be presented in a visual format. And I want to pass these around. I think I got enough copies.
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute, I think this is it.
So you've got the pretty simple logo of the CH. The H is supposed to represent either an interpretation of the hill, Chattahoochee Hills, or the bend of the river as it comes to the land. So it's a little symbolic. It's a very minimalistic design, which means that generally speaking, it has the potential not to get dated really fast. So if you look at the logos that we have existing, the one on Pat's name badge there, I learned that was actually created by the mayor. So I would make sure I did not say anything disparaging about it. But the difficulty with that design is very static. If you look at the way that you can adapt this design by including pictures in the background and hollowing out the symbology, and different interpretations of the symbology, either the Chat Hills or the Chattahoochee Hills, or it's the CH and layering it. I think Danny got my last page down there. Here, which is
That's right.
yeah, that's the one. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. It's not something that's been officially adopted by the city, but it's something that I think is kind of a fresh, forward-facing brand, and we're, at least in economic development, embarking on some strategic visioning that's going to require branding as part of tourism, as part of promotions and marketing. So something that I'm certainly very supportive of, and hoping that the city will get behind adopting as an official brand for the city as well. So.
Wasn't there originally a competition? Wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the first one.
The first
Yeah,
one.
it was a citizens
Yeah,
competition.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the mayor is perfectly happy relinquishing it
Oh,
as his own.
It
good.
was a blind, competition, so no one knew.
So no one knew
Yeah,
that
I never knew.
the mayor did
That's
it.
where it
You
came
know,
from.
It was
That's
before he's mayor,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
but he won.
Well, thank you for sharing this, and, I know that branding is really, really, really important. We went to a conference, Bobby, you and I went to that one, that Common Ground Conference in
Important.
Quarterdale, yeah,
That was good.
where it was really good.
Yeah.
And one of the things they talked about was the importance of branding, what a difference it makes. And so, I hope the city will adopt this because I think it's very powerful. And, I meet people and I tell them I'm from Chattahoochee Hills and they don't have a clue. Even though maybe they don't live far away, they don't know about it.
It is,
So
yes.
maybe we should do a better job of things so that people know we're here. Okay, any questions for Chris?
I have a question there. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, Chris.
Hi, good afternoon. Question in terms of, and I may have missed it as I was reading and probably doing your presentation. Is that a one-time fixed cost or what does overall maintenance look like in the next 10, 15, 20 years for that?
As far as which project you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about let me go back over here. It was the overall here, the ballpark where we were just referring to, the pavilion
Okay.
aspects of it.
Yeah,
Yep.
the cost estimate that we have on the pavilion, let me reference back, there's an architect in downtown Billerica that did the design and development of the picnic structures along
Yes.
the Carlton Greenbelt. And that was last year, so these were very fresh designs and fresh cost estimates. And so that's what we used as the estimate for the grant application. That would be the installation and material for that
Okay,
pavilion. In addition, we did some additional cost estimating for the replacement of the fencing and also for the treads and the seats for the bleachers. So that's
Gotcha.
really a one-time expense, not a long-term 20-year, capital improvement plan.
sure. Okay, all right. Thank you. That answered my question. Thank you.
Chris, coming up, we're gonna be talking about, grant that we wrote for, trail in the New Riverlands Park, and we made
Mhm.
the first level. Now we've got to do more work for the second. Can you come around for that? That's the third item on the agenda. Can you stay? I would love for you to hear that. If you can't, maybe we can move it to the first.
No, I'll stick around.
Okay, thank you. That would be great. Thank you. All right, first item for discussion is Parks Commission accomplishments in 2023. Pat, let's go.
Yes, so when we started the year and I looked at all we did last year, I said, boy, we'll never match that. But then when I sat down and looked at all that happened this year, I'm pretty impressed. So I'll just go through what I have. So we started out with the first day hike in Hutchinson Ferry Park. We had 12 people, but more than half had never been in the park before, so it was nice. Some new people got introduced to the park, really liked it. I know a lot of them have been going back and bird watching or just hiking around, so that was good. And this year we had another first day hike, and I think we got 22 people and 3 dogs. So we kind of doubled our attendance. Then we helped with Sleep the Hooch in March. The Parks Commission, we sponsored, right? 2
That's
sites, one in
Yeah.
Campbellton Park and one at the Highway 166 GADNR boat ramp, which I've never been to. And then the other event was on September 8th, we had the big groundbreaking ceremony in Riverlands Park with the Trust for Public Land and the Georgia DNR. I'll give you this list if you want.
I like to read.
Okay.
Right, but you might want to.
Yeah, I will. The Georgia DNR, breaking ground for the improvements that will be put into Campbellton and Riverlands by the Trust for Public Land with funding from a Georgia Outdoor Stewardship program grant. And, the Parks Commission and city staff were involved in helping the Trust for Public Land figure out they were gonna put where in the two parks. And what they're putting is campsites, a pavilion, restroom, universal access. So the next three things are all city staff, but they're still wonderful. The first is we purchased and installed a ranger station in Copper Mill Park. Yay!
My dog loves
Hey,
sitting on the
Robbie.
old porch.
Really?
Yeah,
You can sit on the porch too.
yeah, she loves it.
A part-time ranger was hired for Cochrane Mill Park. I assume he's still there.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the new and long-awaited new parking lot in Cochrane Mill Park
Yay,
is
it's
open.
awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're the only one in it. I was the other day. Had the whole parking lot. to myself.
Yeah, it's parking on the weekends is impossible.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
this,
Thank you, Darren.
yes.
Oh,
Very
glad I did it.
New trail markers were installed in Cochrane Mill Park to go along with the new map. And that was completed by the Parks Commission, and there's been a problem with people getting lost in Cochrane Mill Park on the trails. I think there's 18 miles. And calling for rescue, and then people get hurt. So we had a new map made. When I say we, I mean the city, with wayfinding markers along the way. So anytime you come to a junction, you know where you are. And then to go with that, we worked with Kane Cochran of Full Glass Labs to create a downloadable GPS trail app that people can take with them on the trail and then find out where they are and, correlate that with the trail markers that are there. All right, so that's new stuff. Parks Commission, which is mainly Roland and his friends, have helped with trail maintenance in Cochrane Mill and Hutchinson Ferry Park and done a lot. The city acquired a new brush cutter for helping with the mowing. Yes. Extremely heavy. A new scoreboard was made for Rico Park that needs some repairs. Poor Roland.
Already.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Anyway, and then we collaborated with the art farm at Serenbe to design a trailhead sign and kiosk for Hutchinson Ferry Park, but I don't know exactly where that is anymore.
Sure. I guess we need to communicate with Thomas Peters.
Then we wanted to have a universal access trail in Chattahoochee Hills for a long time. I think we have some 20 miles of trails, and none of it's really appropriate for someone in a wheelchair or stroller or someone who has trouble walking. So we talked about various sites for this, and finally decided the new Riverlands would be the best place because Trust for Public Land is putting in the handicap access facilities, pavilion, driveway, or the driveway in is being built, a handicap parking space, all that. So we Parks Commission came up with a plan for that. And that was presented to the city, great fanfare, and we got unanimous approval from the council to go forward with this. So we are going to apply for a $250,000 recreational trails program grant, of which the city is responsible for 20%, which would be $50,000, and the city's good with that. So we submitted the first level application, which they're calling the pre-application, in October. And we learned in February that that's been approved, and we're invited for the next step, which is maybe something Chris can help us with. Okay, I think that's a lot, but did I leave anything out?
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you so much for reminding us of everything. Any comments? Okay, thank you. That's great. All right, and next is the liability waiver for Parks Commission activities. Let's go.
So, yeah, Robbie and Rick, oh gosh, what's Rick's last name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, who is the city attorney, refreshed the liability waiver for people who participate in, work programs in the city, and also they would like it signed for people who are taking part in, activities, so yes. Copies, I think, enough for everyone. Although Robbie doesn't probably need one.
Just technical support.
Oh, you too.
But anyway, so, and it's on the website, so
Oh,
at the
okay.
top of your page. Here's an extra.
So when we do our trail maintenance and stuff, volunteer days, we'll need to have these.
Yes, not if it's sweep the hooch, because that's,
No, but we,
Yeah.
we do have the kids thing. and
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
and so it's on the website, you go to the city's website,
Mhm.
go to city parks. Right at the top, it says volunteer liability form, click here, and this shows you.
Oh, look at that, Rick signed it.
So Rick this is what Rick Lindsay has written about using this waiver form. He said, these waivers should always be executed by volunteers who are working on a parks project. I also like for those to be signed by participants in park guided supervised activities. Even though Georgia law provides a defense against claims involving recreational property, when no fee is charged, the law is not as clear when an activity is being supervised or guided. These waivers will help in such situations. Please keep all for 2 years after the event for adults. For minors, the statute of limitations to file a civil suit does not run out until 2 years after the child reaches 18 years of age. However, we will know if there's any brewing claim. If there is, we can make sure to keep any applicable potential claim involving the child until she reaches 20. So let's have a policy of keeping all the waivers for 2 years and to pull any that relate to any child who suffered an injury, and we will set a date on those waivers too.
Can these be stored digitally? Rick?
So
So you
Bobby's
don't-
taking care of
Oh,
that.
you are, so we're in digital, too?
Here we have a
Okay.
set from our first day hike.
Oh, okay.
And so Robbie said he would take these and scan them. Would you like me to take those?
You can, I was just checking.
Except this, unfortunately, that's
He's
not,
delegating already.
not quite the new form, but it's gonna serve.
Oh.
There were no issues.
But
anyway.
Yeah, I haven't scanned in.
So does that mean if I had a volunteer help me this week already, does that mean I should have signed one of the, so since they were helping me work at the park?
Bobby, do we have to sign it every time? I mean, Roland is out there two,
Yeah, I
3
mean,
times
is
a
that-
week.
I don't think.
Or is it
we
just
have-
once
Does
for
he have to do it?
a year or something, or?
I mean,
Or is
we may
that
have to
just-
circle back to Rick on that,
Yes.
because there are different events, and I don't know if they're gonna be in perpetuity, which is
Oh,
on the
okay.
waiver. But, I mean,
I mean,
it should be,
the waiver doesn't say anything specific.
yeah,
right?
it should be,
Just once.
As far as hanging on to them, I mean, we should check with Rick,
yeah,
but it would be very easy for us to store these like by year. So maybe they could be good for a calendar year.
Yeah.
Like anybody throughout.
Oh,
this-
I see.
You know,
Yeah.
through this year, like if somebody signs one in November,
Yeah,
in January, they're gonna have to sign a new one.
But
So I would, if we can, I would do it by calendar year. It just makes it easier to store stuff and record retention.
yeah, because I've seen it both ways.
Yeah. But we
done.
probably should check with Rick.
to make sure, cause I would hate to have to sign one of these several times a week. I'm busy, yeah, it just depends.
Plus the bird watch, when they do the bird watch.
Yeah, we have to do it then.
That's right.
It
And we don't-
seems like those of us who are on the Parks Commission, I mean, I'll sign it gladly, but, that's one thing, but people who are sort of just coming that are outside the
You
city.
know, I don't know, Rick will be the answer to that.
Yeah,
My
but we
thought
should
would
ask.
be, you're a volunteer to do this, you're still a volunteer.
Yes,
You're
sir.
not a paid employee, but.
That's
of course,
true.
Rick's the professional.
Yeah,
So-
well, for instance, there are people that volunteer in the parks that just clear brush on their own without,
Yeah,
because
but
they're
that's
there.
not a
so
guided
that doesn't
or
So we're not-
scheduled
yeah.
event.
We're not
It's
responsible for those people.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. for
Yeah, no,
working on that.
thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Bobby, for helping us with that.
Yeah.
All right, next item. second level Riverlands Park grant application. That must be cool.
Yeah, so we were I already explained, it's a $250,000 grant to build a universal access trail. We've done a lot of work. Roland mapped it out. We have preliminary plans, cost estimates, all that. So originally, we were supposed to have the second level application in by the end of March. But there's some new requirements by the Federal Highway Administration that they've had to incorporate into the second level application process. And we don't know what they are yet, and they're not even opening the second level application period until April 1st. So we're gonna find out, well, so they're having actually I have copies of all this too. They're having a webinar on March 26th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. explaining to us what we have to do for the second level application. And I encourage, anyone who can to attend.
You have this date, you have the date on there.
The date's right at the top. It says good afternoon.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
March 22nd.
So Lisa Jolly is the person at the Georgia Department of Natural Resources responsible for recreational trail program grants. So the note was from Leisha. Robbie's our main contact person at the city, so it goes through him. Saying, okay, we're gonna have this webinar via Zoom. Link to attend. Please let me know if you're going to attend.
Does she need a look now?
Well, I don't know, but you can take the note, the email from Robbie, just forward it to her and say, I'm coming, and she'll get it and say, great.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So,
Did you send that email?
no,
Oh, okay.
I haven't yet. Well, Robbie sent it to me and Diane.
As soon as I got it.
Chris.
Mhm.
And,
But not the rest of it. Okay.
Yeah,
until you kind of knew what it was about.
I didn't want to inundate everybody with emails. I know Paxton and Diana's been working on it along with Chris, so.
So now, I mean, it's still 2 weeks away. Anyhow, so, yeah, they had some, also there are 2 documents there that are talking about what we have to prepare, which is a categorical exclusion form. I don't even know what they're talking about. So I guess that's what they're gonna be telling. Does that
Oh,
sound like
good.
something you
That's
you
what
heard
that
those
is.
words
Yeah.
before?
Oh, good.
But, and you already got. So yeah. Anyway, so it was really wonderful to be invited to submit the second level, because that means if we submit everything, we're in, we get the money. The first stage is the competitive stage, so we passed that.
And
hurdle.
it opens April 1, and have they said when it closes? So we don't know how much time.
The webinar.
We don't know how much time we got. Okay.
Now I'm going to do my fun. So when we were trying to decide what to call this project, Clifford said, oh, Wheel Beautiful. We have to have a catchy name. So it's the Wheel Beautiful Riverland Scenic Universal Access Trail.
Like,
Okay, is there anything
Questions?
else that anyone?
Comments?
Yeah.
All right.
sure, I could.
So-
But Chris has. oh,
I was gonna say, so Pat, is that a rhetorical question or a statement in terms of the naming that is? I know that's what
No,
Clifford
that's-
indicated.
I mean, that's the name we have. No.
Okay.
It's official.
It's official.
You're waiting
Earlier.
at-
Oh, awesome. I think that's a great way to honor this situation.
But what Clifford said was, you've got to catch the eye of the reviewers.
Yes.
So he thought that name was catchy, and so we used it. Apparently it didn't hurt us, no.
No.
Clifford was very sure we were going to be approved. I don't know why. So that was good, yeah.
So is this an RTP or a GOSP?
Now, this is an RTP.
Okay, So to my knowledge, I believe that this may be wrong, but as of last year, I thought the cap for the grant had been raised up to $500,000. It's still 250.
I think so for an RTP.
For a GOSP, it's 2 million.
Right.
So, we should set our sights high. I did a GOSP grant for some trails in Villa Rica, about a year and a half ago. It's a very, very challenging grant. But we were in a much different circumstance in a more urbanized setting up there. And it's more akin to what they're looking for as far as water access and also the recreational aspect. So I think you have a good chance of a GOSP grant if that's what you want to pursue.
Next time.
Next time, yeah, and that's what the work that Trust for Public Land is doing in Campbellton and Riverlands
Right.
is the GOSP
Right.
grant, and I think they got something like 2.2 million for that.
And there's some federal programs. There was a program called Reconnecting Communities Pilot Program that got merged into another program last year. That's all about linking people in historically disadvantaged areas with surrounding areas. The Riverlands concept being multi-jurisdictional, multi-county, and certainly touching on some of those key population demographics that you want to have in your grant would be very competitive. I think we've had a discussion with TPL about what we can do to help facilitate that. But to your point about changes at the HWA, as far as what they're looking for in the grant priorities on the federal level through federal highway, usually those are going to be around what's called the Justice 40 initiative, which is buzzwords. You may be very familiar with cliches like inclusivity and some of the other ones like inclusion, economic, and this little catchphrase and things. But there's equity. That's one of the other ones. So there are
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
yeah. So
There you go.
there are ways of actually qualifying that from a data standpoint using certain matrix that are available through FHWA's website, and I can certainly help you guys with that. So anything I can do for structural support, technical support, please lean on me. I'll be happy to
Okay,
help.
don't worry. I'll be there.
Thank you so much.
I mean, the population here is getting older, and we see a need for this sort of trail.
Sure.
Mhm.
And then also I've heard, people like to go out with kids in a stroller and get out too, so.
Well, we also have to remember that we are a regional draw. And so our market is much, much larger than our geography itself.
And this park and this trail will also give people a view of the river, so.
There is a technology called Placer AI, which triangulates cell phone data to so that you can actually qualify or quantify certain data metrics. Like if you want to say, okay, how many people use Taco Park?
Yes.
And it would show you times a day. It would show you, I don't have access to it. I had access to it in my last job, but I might possibly be able to get it.
That would be very cool.
But what you can do is you can find out what time of the day people are going, which days they're going,
That'd be amazing.
how long are they staying, where are they coming from, and where are they going to?
Wow.
And so you can really do some target solicitation or target marketing. And that way you can really get a real sense on the usage, the actual usage of the park. Because the AI aspect of it basically says, okay, there's gonna be some folks that might have a couple other people with them, and it's only triangulating off one cell phone. And so they use the AI technology to do the formulations on that. But it's great data. I mean, you can use that not only for Copper Mill, but for special events or for park activities and things that are very specific.
So what would we have to do to get that?
Well, the subscription that I had at my last employer was $12,000. It's a chunk. Now, the application is very broad. We used it for assessing not only the utilization of recreational facilities, but also for special events and concerts. And you can actually take it down to the business level. And so if from a very microeconomic development level, if you said, okay, Blue Eyed Daisy, this is how many people you're seeing, this is where they're coming from, this is where they're going to, this is how you should adjust your market reach. But to do that for just a variety of projects throughout the city, it does have some multifold benefits to it. And it's an expensive investment, but if you did it for 1 year, think of all of the analyses that you could conduct citywide that you're not gonna have to repeat every year.
That'd be pretty cool.
We also used it for grant writing, because when we were doing traffic studies, it's one thing to put rumble strips out, but that doesn't tell you much except for counting speed.
Right.
What we're looking at is Pumpkintown Road from Shoreline Parkway, which is outside Robbie's neighborhood, up to Dallas Highway. And we were able to see, okay, what's the volume of traffic and where are people coming from? That's the important thing, because we needed to show connectivity. And yeah, this is a 2-mile stretch of terrible road, but this is where all the volume is coming from. It's not being generated locally. It's all pass-through stuff. So from a federal grant standpoint, we were able to use volume metrics to really articulate the greater impact. So if we're looking at grants for Cochrane Mill, or grants for Hutchinson Ferry, or grants for anywhere citywide, you know, you've got the ability to really quantify from a data standpoint, which is great for grants. The feds hate to read data, and they just take it face value.
They just believe what you tell them.
Yep,
Yes.
as long as you tell them, yeah.
That is fascinating. That'd be very cool if we could get that someday.
We'll talk about the budget.
Okay,
We'll make
you
some
guys
cuts in
about
the
the
police department.
grant application. Next item, Cochrane Mill Park and Hutchinson Ferry Park ongoing trail maintenance, Roland Austin.
Primarily it's Cochrane Mill, and have been doing maintenance in both parks over the winter. The recent floods have damaged in Cochrane Mill Park, and I'm glad Daryl's here. So we're gonna have to possible borrow the excavator from the city to fix the main culvert on the turnpike. It got back flooded from Bear Creek, and it silted the entire, that little creek in there. So now the water's flowing over it. So this shit's gonna wash out. So I was talking
Yeah.
to Pete about it, and I met him out there, and we're thinking the only way to fix it is to use the excavator to try to get the silt out of the culvert and fix it. So that's the main thing at Cochrane Park.
And Daryl, would that be possible?
Of course.
Would that be
always,
possible?
Of course.
So, yeah, and you don't have a smaller excavator, you still got the main Kubota, right? Yeah, yeah, I think we've gotten it over there before, it's just tricky to get it through the swampy area. And then the other thing is, trying to decide about, we have to pull some of the dirt that's washed off of that causeway, back. And last time I think we used one of those concrete buggies, the ones
Yes,
that
we
you can.
did.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can rent one of those again, or if it'd be better just to use the bucket. My bucket or something like
I
that.
know,
Either way would work.
just let me
So,
know.
okay. Yeah, mine is just using my tractor bucket to really hold more, and it's probably easier to get it in there, so. But anyway, that's kind of Cochrane Mill. There were 3 huge trees down for the last few weeks. Those are finally cleared
Thank
as
you,
of yesterday.
thank you.
Got delayed on that. And that's really it for Cochrane Park. We did lose some more gas signs. There's 2 more gone. They could have been washed away. We had record rains.
What does what?
The
The
signs,
trail markers?
trail markers. There's 2 of them that were missing. So I'm thinking they got washed away probably. Those have to be put back up. We have plenty of those.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot of work though.
Yeah, I gotta put them back up. So that's really it for Cockermouth Hustonberry.
Okay,
And Hustonberry is pretty clear, so walked it, 3 weeks ago. We did a family walk with Clifford's family to his favorite spot.
oh,
Yeah, to the Beaver Dam.
yes, oh,
Took some
yes,
photos.
he was so excited.
Yeah, he loved that area, so I don't have any puns about it, but, so,
That is great.
yeah.
All right, well, thanks for all you do, all
Yep.
that traveling.
Yeah.
All right, Riddle Park new scoreboard.
Yeah, and I was so excited about that, and then on the way over here, I saw where the letters had started peeling, even though I polyurethane them. I think, Ken, you were out there when I was putting it up. And Daryl suggested it could be the polyurethane got under the letters and caused the glue to come loose.
Oh.
So, that's no longer exciting. But, I'm
Still excited.
I'm gonna fix it before opening, one way or the other before ball season.
Oh, okay, which is coming up, ball season opens
4 weeks.
Daryl now.
I still haven't had anybody contact me.
Oh,
Oh,
my
about
God.
what day?
You know, we talked about the council meeting,
Yeah.
talked to Lyle and,
They announced it, I mean, I have it in my weekly newsletter.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay. But you got
Well,
what
my
to do over
newsletter.
there, right? It looks pretty good to me.
oh, it's ready, it's ready, like I said, I'm ready no matter what.
Is there a way that this week or sometime you could meet me over there and get with ideas on how to fix?
Oh, yeah,
If
sure.
since you've got experience with it peeling. Cause I'm like desperate now. I don't wanna put something else back up that's gonna do the same thing. And I don't wanna remove it because it's screwed together. I'd have to
Oh,
pull
yeah,
all
I
the
understand.
screws out. I mean, even if I have to roll over the whole thing with new paint, I can get new letters made. Yeah, it's disappointing.
I'll be looking for that day. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I
it's
wondered in that
early
Russ,
April,
too.
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my,
It is
weekly
like-
newsletter, I got a image that I put in there.
Tax day.
I wish I had the image that Chris did with the CNH, technically can't use it because it's not a city brand, but it looked really good. There it is, T-ball. Registration, let's see, Chad Hill, registration closes March 1st, season begins March 30th and ends May
Oh, wow.
25th.
Coming up in,
Register at communitybrickworks.org.
wow. I need to get out
Very
and
good.
fix it this weekend.
Well, we could sponsor it with the GBV. Just love it.
Y'all just proved to me you don't read my newsletter, so I don't have to do it anymore.
I read it, but I glossed over that.
No, I want you not to read it.
Love
though.
the
You don't want me to read it? Okay, you won't.
What? Newsletter?
I
I
thought
get
you had
reports.
Chat GPT write that anyway, didn't you?
Yeah.
I do get reports on clicks on it, so. that's
Oh,
good.
okay.
Anything else about the new school board? Okay.
Nope.
Next is the Hamilton Park Sweep and Hoop, which is March 23rd, which is the
Thanks, Chris.
week.
Yeah.
There's still room if you haven't signed up, although I think most of you have, but anyway, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got 2 more signed up today.
Oh, you did, wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
we are just doing one site, Campbellton Park. We are not also doing 166. Rosemary is doing 166.
Yeah,
You
Rosemary
remember?
and.
Oh.
Yeah, Jason.
I don't know. I don't know who's doing it besides Rosemary.
R.
Oh, yes, Jeff.
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 Yeah. I think
Okay,
Jeff.
that's great. I didn't know Jeff was helping. That's excellent.
I did put that in the flyer because they asked if we could promote that site. 'cause
That's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they- I
that's
did that in 3 places.
Okay.
So
You know the times, Charlie? What time do you start?
it's 9 to 12.
9 to 12. Thank you.
And Tammy said they got dumpsters already for one or the other side. I'm hoping they got it for our
We
side.
don't know which one.
No, I have.
She didn't know.
She didn't indicate which one. There's not enough trash to have 2.
Yeah,
Last
That's
year, I had to haul it all up to 166, and I don't wanna do that.
no.
And I had a live, animal that got in the trash.
What kind of animal?
It was a DeKay's brown snake about this long.
Ugh.
And somebody picked it up and didn't know it in the rotten
Oh,
wood,
my God.
and it was in there in the truck. I
Oh,
reached in there, the last handful, I grabbed it. It was, they're harmless, but
Sure.
Oh, my.
it's starting.
Trash to move.
Oh my God, yeah, it's huge. I photographed it. I picked it up because they're not venomous. And I carried it up to the woods, but it did get relocated 15 miles away.
All right, next item. This is a rare opportunity to go bird watching with Give Beaton. And Give Beaton lives in Chattahoochee Hills and has authored or co-authored these 4 books about birds. He's an expert birds and insects.
Yep.
And he, for years, has done a bird walk in the spring when the birds are migrating along the river for Georgia Audubon. And I've signed up for it every chance I could get. I set my alarm so I could sign up the minute it opened because everybody who knew anything about birding he's the best. They wanted to go. So, and you've done it a few times, Pat, but local people hardly ever have a chance because it gets full so quickly. So this time he said he would do a bird walk for us. We can sponsor it, the Parks Commission. And I talked to Ruby to see if they would help us, the Chat Hills Community Outreach. And she said, yes, they'd be happy to help us. And so they can get the word out. They've got an email list and they can have people register. So I think it's going to be really a good partnership. It will be on a Sunday, April 28th, because can't do it on Saturday because Gifts boys play ball in the ball field at Rickle Park.
Oh, cool.
So he can't do it Saturday, but he can do it Sunday, April 28th, starting at 8 a.m. at Campbellton Park. And
cool.
He said 25 people is the limit. We're not going to charge anything. Georgia Audubon did charge, but we're not going to charge. He said he wouldn't charge. He didn't need any money. So
And the sign up's gonna go through the community.
outreach, which Robbie always publicizes.
So
in
you
that
let us know.
weekend review. He always puts that information.
Yeah.
April 28th is a Sunday at 8 a.m. And we need to tell people, bring binoculars and bring sturdy shoes. You don't mind getting muddy. It'll be about a 2-mile hike. We'll go from Campbellton Park to the alpaca
Oh, cool.
and back.
Oh, can you see if you can mention to Glenn about the Sweet the Hooch?
I
He was
will
really
do that.
excited about it last year.
That's good. Yeah.
He gave people
Thank
rides
you.
in his 1930s Ford.
Thank you for reminding
Open
me.
bed
I will
truck.
mention that.
Open truck, yeah, that was fun, yeah.
That was fun.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he'll just be
The
there.
alpacas are sort of the highlight of the whole. Sweet
Yeah.
event. Okay. All right, Roland, you're gonna talk about an upcoming event to Campbellton Park, sponsored by Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. Do we have a date for that yet?
Yeah, we do, April, that it's this, around the middle, the 15th, is that the 15th? Sorry. Yeah, we're doing a sweep, just a sweep. like a
Starting
regular
where?
sweep, 166,
Cool.
and then ending in Campbellton Park, we'll get a
Cool.
dumpster. There's a lot of trash on the river in our city. Most of it's catches down in our city.
So I don't know if y'all watch, the river levels. It's real easy to do on USGS mobile app. And if the, Highway 92 site, the bridge right there, if it gets over about 14 feet, then the river starts coming over the road, Cochran Road, that gravel road, and it's been there 2 or 3 times in the last couple
Close.
weeks. So this is a nightmare for Daryl because
Yeah,
when it recedes, it leaves a whole bunch of mud on the boat ramp.
yeah, sorry.
And so, we are hoping you can clean that for, I guess the most important thing is when the people will be getting out of the river on April 15th.
Yeah, we're not doing any for the sweep. There's no water cleanup for that. So that's just.
So I guess
So
the
what
April
is it?
15th is
This
the
is
main time we,
Chattahoochee River, this is April 15th?
Yes.
um,
Yeah, there's
But
a
you-
sign up for that.
you
already.
may want to wait till the day before because who knows where the river
Well,
will
we'll
be.
see. We usually determine it on the morning, whether it gets canceled, depending on how high it is. it got canceled last year probably in my.
Yeah, it's been canceled.
Yeah, it was
many times.
1 foot below the ball field last week, not ball field, the field, it was 1 foot, I was up there.
Good gosh.
Yeah, it was that far,
It's impressive.
yeah, it was amazing.
It's impressive how high it is.
Yeah, I have a picture of it, I'm sure Daryl doesn't want to see it. Yeah, I went out there because I wanted to see about the planting, whether they're gonna cancel the planting, I guess they didn't.
This is a cool opportunity though, to get to see that stretch of the river. It's only 5 miles. And, Chattahoochee River people will probably have,
That's the boat ramp.
kayaks that they can bring if you don't have
Looks like a
a
lake. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that much water.
Yeah, I see it when they.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you see it
So
when
are
it
we
happens.
looking at the boat ramp?
Yeah,
moving down the boat ramp?
that's standing in at the top of the boat
Wow.
ramp, and it was completely, yeah, it was completely,
There you would see it.
I see it.
yeah, he's seen that. I guess they still planted on Sunday. I didn't go because I went there Saturday and it was too muddy. It was standing water and I went and plant stuff.
Yeah, they changed it from Saturday to Sunday for the weather.
And I guess they did. Did they plant there?
Yeah, he said they, last time I talked to him, he said they was going Sunday instead of Saturday because of all the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, next item, litter pickup on Coppermill Road. Roll.
Last thing, yeah, I'm probably gonna do it in May because there's every weekend seems to be filled with something in the city in April. But I wanna do one of those, litter pickups along Coppermill Road.
That'd be
So
great.
I'd like to do it during the week instead of a weekend, like see who I can get. That way the cities around it, they can drive by or whatever, mainly about safety. Cause in the past on the weekends, it's a limited, police presence. So, we do it during the week, we usually get a couple of the officers that drive by. So I'll put some dates out.
Okay, thank you for organizing that.
Yeah.
Coppermill Road.
Yeah.
Do you need?
I have a question.
Chris has a question.
In terms of that's great, Roland, you put that together, because as I drive down Cockermere Road, I keep saying the same thing. I'm like, I need to get out here and just pick up this trash, right? So it's good to know that it's the case. In terms of that, or what area are you looking for that you have tentatively in mind? Is it like from South Fulton up to Hutchinson Ferry? Is that the area
It would
you're
be-
thinking about?
What we've done in the past is done the entire thing. So we'll get one crew starting at, Hudson Ferry and the other down at where it ends at Cascade Palmetto and work to the middle. And we've managed to do that on a Saturday before we through. In some areas you can skip, there's not a lot of trash.
Mhm.
It's down at Cascade Palmetto, and then that stretch between the Parkway and Hudson Ferry is always littered.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm definitely interested in that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll put some dates out.
All right, Coppermill Park app, I've been talking with Kane Cochran. We sent him a list of
We did.
changes we wanted made, and he has made them.
Oh,
So if
good.
you created the list, you need to look at
Oh,
it and
good.
see if it's been changed, except for the Orange Trail. And what he said, I
Mhm.
want to read it so I make sure I get it right. And the Orange Trail had a lot that we thought needed to be
Yeah.
changed. Okay, all right, here we go. I've made, this is from Kane, I've made all the manual changes. All of your changes except the Orange Trail references. The orange references will require a new file from Roland. Can you make a new file for him?
Yeah. I'll have to log it.
Updating the file on the site is super simple once I have it,
Okay.
which will allow you guys to easily add new trail updates as Roland Max. So after that, we can take over. And he had said he would train, and he has asked if, I think the two main people who will be updating the website would be Roland and Robbie. He's asking about March 22nd at noon. Can y'all check your calendars and see if you could work with him? It would be, I think a Zoom call
Is that
or
okay?
some sort of, it's a Friday, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, it'll be Friday. Look at my calendar.
I think
What time was that again? I'm sorry.
Noon on March 22nd.
This is for Robbie and Roland, right?
Yeah.
I think they're the key people for updating the website.
Okay.
Too many people getting in there.
Yeah, I got a meeting at 1, but I can be at, you said noon, right?
You said noon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do
I
that.
can do
Okay.
from, well, I'll be right, it's a budget meeting with the mayor, but I can.
Can we meet here somewhere?
Well, it's Zoom.
We'll be online.
Oh, it's Zoom, so you don't wanna be in the same room.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will let him know that'll work.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Okay, that's, all I have, but
I'll put
please
it in.
check, please check the app and the website and see. You had a lot of corrections.
I
See
did.
if yours have been changed.
I can finally know. Okay.
I put it in an email, so look for emails from me.
Okay,
In fact, I think I said, didn't I send you all a copy of what I sent him?
you did.
Okay.
It was a while ago, though.
Oh, yeah.
Go back
I'll
and
see if I
do
can find it
Okay.
and send it again. Okay,
What day was that, Bill?
March 22nd.
Oh, that's pretty
It's a
soon.
Friday, yeah, it's soon,
At noon.
at noon. And I'll let him know.
AM, PM.
Okay, items for consideration, the 2024 meeting schedule, Dana sent this to us.
Yeah.
And it's basically the second Tuesday of the month unless there's some reason why it has to be changed. Wow, looks like none of them got changed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like it's always the second Tuesday. Okay.
I've got signs, I have to tell you, when you were talking about the Sweet Chattahoochee, I have the signs.
Oh, good.
I have several of those,
Okay,
you don't
good.
need to get them from Tammy,
Okay.
and I have graspers vests, all that
Oh,
stuff.
wonderful. All right, thank
I'll
you.
bring it.
Do we need to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the meeting schedule?
Nope.
All right, can I have a motion and a second to approve the 2024 meeting schedule?
I move to approve the 2024 meeting schedule.
I second it.
There we go. Good. All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the 2024 meeting schedule. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, that carries unanimously. Next, commission member comments and suggestions. Anybody have comments?
Chris?
Okay,
No, I do not have anything.
moving right along, staff reports, parking fee update, Dana.
All right, I, figured out, the statement of revenues. Sorry, Chris, I didn't get it done in time to email it out to everybody. I'm working on it this afternoon.
I think I need.
I didn't get one.
Got new software.
I had them,
Oh, that's all right.
I had them set out in the other,
I thought everybody, got one.
In the other room.
yeah, I had them all set out.
We brought them all out and divided them up.
Here's
Oh,
my-
yeah.
Might have been,
Oh, they were separate.
they're all
You want
buried.
Yeah.
So, since we last met in October, we started using new financial software. So I had to,
Yeah.
it wasn't as detailed, so I had to, combine the daily parking. You know, we used to break it out between cash and credit cards, and I know when we first got the kiosk, we just kind of wanted to track, you know, how many people were using credit cards versus cash. So I don't know that that was that important now. I can't break it out on the
But
report.
is it mostly credit cards, do you think?
I think it's still mostly credit cards. A fair amount of people still do cash, but it's trended to be mostly, majority of it being credit cards. So you'll see we've got the comparison from this fiscal year to last fiscal year. You see the breakdown there. We're a little bit higher than this time last fiscal year at a little over 71,000 for total parking fee revenue. And, the primitive camping has increased. I think in October, we had only like $50 or something on primitive camping.
Oh,
But we've had quite a bit more. Penny, the court clerk, actually takes those reservations. So we've got $461 for primitive camping, which brings us up to total parks revenue, $71,463.98. That 98 cents came in a parks donation. I think somebody probably paid something, didn't want change, and so just put it in parks.
and, is that 8 months?
That's through February, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
And then, parking decals distributed to date, we're down a little bit. I had the totals on one of my sheets of what happened. Residents down a little, 251, non-residents up a little bit, 440. I don't know, I mean, we've had so much rain.
Oh, yeah, and it's not that much different.
Yeah, it's not that,
much at all.
not a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Okay, thank you so much for keeping up with that for us. All right, next item, Daryl, I know you have been super busy working with Russell Public Land, improving Cowboys Park and Riverland Park, and we can hardly wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with, Lila that has stepped down from that in Kenny, and that's where, I hate that for me because she usually lets me know that 2 or 3 months before, this is how we're gonna do, this is who's doing what. I need the PA for this date and PA, so I work with Kenny, I talked to Kenny the other day, cause he's not doing the lines anymore on the field like he's done forever and ever, so.
Oh, my God.
I talked to him, in a link the other day about trying to figure out who's gonna do what, so he's trying to give me some names of people. So I'll be more involved, cause we have to provide this, that, cause during the season, things happen. And I just need to find out that contact person who's just gonna be taking their places, I haven't had that yet. My failure for not looking at the report thing, but, I've been waiting on somebody to contact me and let me know, cause Lila said that she would let me know who's gonna be taking her place, and I don't know if they had somebody nailed down, there's several people that stepped up that wanna do it. And she said, as soon as they find out what's entailed of it, they're like,
They need a point person.
They
They
need
need
to
to work.
Yeah,
So
so,
her kids,
And it-
well, why did she quit?
well,
I
her,
think her kids
they,
aged-
that aged that long time ago,
She just got.
and she felt like staying with it because her mother, it was a big thing for her mother, and she felt not, and she was huge, man, she was absolutely huge,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
She did everything, she would just call me and ask me, can I get this, can I get that? And I love the communication we have, it helps me do my job, because I don't wanna be a failure, if I don't know, no, but
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm looking for names, so as soon as I find the names, pass it on, let y'all know who's gonna step in, so we need a representative to be able to talk with us, so we know. Like you said, don't need 100 people calling. It's a lot to us. Also, let's see, at Copper Mill Park, there were several dead trees at the main parking lot.
Saw that.
They, we have a guy that's starting his own business from the tree business, and he's cutting, doing a great job.
Does he work in the residential?
He will.
I said he'd love to get his name.
I have been passing his name out to several people, and he is very reasonable,
Oh, good.
and he's insured, and
That's awesome, man.
he's done a lot
I'd
for
love
us.
to have that
Does he have a buck?
contact.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got everything you'll need to.
Is he an arborist, or as they say in Cedar Cone, arborist?
Harvest this, no, he's not harvest.
Dang, I was hoping he was.
Yeah, we need somebody.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'd love
Also,
to get his name.
at the Boy Scout hut, there was a few trees right there that, we've taken down and removed. Let's see, Riverlands and Hamilton Park. If you've been out there, they've started working over there. They got all the silt erosion control plans in. There's water. They have got the wells done. The last update I have gotten is the septic system. I'm on a thread that passes on, so I know exactly what's going on. I don't involve myself too much into it. I'm just kind of keeping up, making sure everybody's online. The last email I saw today was that the septic system supply stuff is like 20 weeks plus. And Chris, they said, we can't wait for that. We need to see what other things. So they're looking into maybe a different kind of system. Of course, with them, it'll be up to standard. It'll meet everything the requirements. So, but they're moving forward. I mean, they're on it. There's a lot of activity. If you want to go out there, take a peek. Try not to get too close to them. You let them work or whatever, but you're more welcome to go check. There's a lot of work being done.
Are they working weekends?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Whenever they can, the weather permits, and they're out there.
So they might be there like when we do sweep the hooch.
It might, yeah. And the thing is, I really can't delay them because they have a.
And it won't be a problem.
No, it won't be, they're working, they're not involved.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the same thing. But if it becomes, if you think it might be an issue, I can always
No.
try to work
Yeah.
work with them.
No,
They'll
no,
work with
It won't be a problem.
It's clear there, yeah. I saw where they've done quite a bit. I haven't been to Riverlands, but I've been to Hamilton. It
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts.
Mhm.
A lot of people involved. There's
GDOT.
Yep, GDOT, we getting married, yeah, because they go, GDOT, and plus, yeah, they're trying to get permits and, but it's their right of way. And because it's a state highway. So as Robbie had to do a lot of emailing back and forth and signing, we have to sign a lot of waivers, a lot of stuff. And I've been working with Greystone about the right of way for the power. I sent our contact guys several emails. I haven't heard back yet. If I hear anything in the morning, I'm gonna be talk to his boss, which I know I go to church with a good friend of mine, and we're trying to get a blanket permit for them areas, so they don't have to keep requesting each time they do something. Just do what you need to do out there to get power, because they're Greystone. You know, they know what they're doing, and they work in the city. We can't tell them where to run their line. I mean, we can get some guidelines where we'd like it, but they know. So I'm working on the power part of that as well. That's if y'all have any questions, you know, where we're on into, that's about it.
Question? Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you for managing all. Okay.
Robbie's got a question, Diana.
Oh,
I got staff report.
yeah, tell us what you
I'm
know.
not part of the Parks Commission, but I do have, these are really actually important. We had a council retreat the other Friday and Saturday. And I just want to bring up some of the things that were discussed, share with you. A tree commission. We talked about tree commission is kind of not existing right now because we don't have an arborist and we don't have a tree commission. So I said, well, they go, what do you get for having a tree commission? I said, well, you get to do a Tree City USA designation. If you want to keep it, you gotta have a tree commission. You got an ordinance, you enforce your ordinance, all that kind of stuff. So they said they had an idea about tree commission. They would like to have an arborist, have an arborist on there. Hopefully someone that's pro bono, always on, and then one member from the Parks Commission, and one member from the Historic Commission would serve on the Tree Commission. So if you guys be thinking about that, you don't need to appoint anybody yet, but if you know, it's not a big deal. They just have to meet quarterly and just be established commission. It would just be, 3 people, 1 from each. So if we can look into doing that, that's what was discussed. They also, just to bring up to you, we also talked about things happening at the park as far as, we do have a park ranger. It works Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And, just 1 person, but, if you ever have a day off or that kind of thing, it's hard to fill. They went back and forth on whether to have a uniform officer or not because of, things happening down there at the bridge. We monitor, we got a camera, so on and so forth. But I said, well, they wanted a uniform officer. I said, well, if you pay a uniform officer, that's a lot of money. You gotta pay a uniform officer to be down there all the time around the clock. Why don't we just work with the police and say, hey, do extra patrols, park your car, get out of your car, walk down the hill, get some steps. Okay. And be seen, be visible in uniform. So we're really, really pushing that extra patrol down there because we want,
So
it's kind of down the hill, down to the bridge.
That's great.
I'm not saying they're gonna do it, but I'm saying they're gonna do it because, look, the random patrols is a great form of deterrence. If a police officer is sitting on the side of the road one day and you come back, he's not there the next day, but then he's there the next day, you're probably gonna slow down because you don't know when he or she's gonna be there. That's what we want. So that's one thing they talked about. Movie night, just so everybody knows, you've probably seen it, it is April 13th. It's at Hutchinson Ferry Park. And so I know last time we did Hutchinson Ferry Park, we had a lot of volunteers. 99.9% of them were from Parks Commission, helping us park cars and stuff. Same thing as before, we need.
Are they gonna reach out to let us know? Cause I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
That's why I'm just now bringing it up, as far as we're coordinated right now. I do have the movie rights. I pay for those. I have the, Fun Flicks are gonna do it. It's gonna be Wonka. So I guess that's the 3rd version of Willy Wonka.
It's a new one, not the original.
Not the original, not the one with Johnny Depp, the weird one,
And then
but now this one.
Oh,
So that's,
okay.
that's the
That'll be
movie.
fun.
So, we did get, a donation, if you will, from the movie that's being filmed on Southwell Parkway because they are closing the parkway and they have provided, I think $6,000 that go toward movie night. So that'll cover the cost of everything as well as, for food trucks and those kind of things. So, it's not gonna cost $6,000 for movie night. They did it for community outreach. So whatever doesn't do that, we can apply to the fall festival. So
No, that's cool.
So there, that's that. And then the most important thing I wanted to bring out is the good news and bad news. The good news, you may have heard if you were at the council meeting or not, Michelle, our finance director, has resigned. She's gonna go work for the city of Dallas because she wanted to work there before, but she couldn't because her husband worked there. But he retired and now there's an opening for her to go there, so she's gonna go, leaves us without a finance director. But somebody that has done finances for the city before we hired a finance director that was very, very, really good at it, didn't miss a beat. And that person has said, I'd be willing to step back into that role. You know, her initials are Dana Witcher.
That's what I thought.
So what that
Wow.
means is she's not going to be the city clerk.
Oh, no.
So that's the bad news.
You, bad for
Oh,
us.
my
Good news for them,
God.
not the city clerk, but we're working hard. We've got some prospective candidates. We like people that have been city clerk before because it's a niche type of job. So this is her last Parks Commission meeting. So if we don't have a city clerk in by next time, we need somebody here to take the minutes for that. Yeah, that's important.
Can we veto that?
So Chris is volunteering to take the minutes. I wanted to do
Well,
that.
congratulations, Dana.
You'll see her. And that goes for the planning commission, same announcement goes to the planning commission. For the council
Wow.
meeting, a little bit more difficult procedural, those kind of things. I'm saying, because she's gonna be in finance, you know, she'll still be a director, and directors come to council meetings, so she can still help, you know, get that next person
That's good.
with some mentorship, but.
Congratulations.
It's a huge pay increase. Don't laugh.
No,
No, you will do a superb job.
Wow,
I think
yeah.
that you always do it.
so,
Yeah,
no, I
you
wasn't
do.
on the agenda, but I needed to cover those
No,
areas.
That's great. Okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
Anyhow. Okay, last item, would like everybody to have a chance to say something about, Clifford, if you would like to, a memory, a story, anything you would like to say. Anybody want to start?
I'll start. When I first moved to Chat Hills, you know, I organized a little bit, I saw a little flyer. It said, guided nature walk in Cochrane Mill Park on Sunday afternoon. Oh, that's good. I don't know anything about Georgia. So I went. It was me, Roland, Clifford, and Valerie. And the three of them spent about 2 hours trying to fill my head with so much data that I'm going, but anyway, it was just, you could just see his love for the natural world, and he was just an amazing font of information. And one of the things he loved so much was that rock outcropping. And it would make me happy if we could get signs up that say protected.
Yes,
Don't
that's right. In Hutchins Ferry Park.
in Hutchinson Ferry. Might be a nice thing to do. But anyway, I don't, you know, Clifford is just irreplaceable, so it's infallible.
Yes, absolutely. I'll go next. So, I first met Clifford shortly after I moved here in 2007, and he had organized a paddle trip on the Chattahoochee. He had gotten kayaks, and the plan was to put in at Caps Ferry and take out where close to where Riverlands Park is now. And Mark Hennessy was going to have lunch for us there. And he had GPS, which I knew nothing about at that time. But anyway, he had the GPS location, so we'd know where to get out. Well, once you get on that river, it all looks exactly the same. It's just trees and flowers and no buildings, nothing. And so we didn't realize we had completely missed the takeout spot until we got all the way down to Coweta County and the bridge over Highway 16. And so we got out there, and Mark Hennessy came and picked us up, and we still got our picnic on his land. But anyway, that was the first time that I realized how beautiful the Chattahoochee is in this area, and got to know Clifford. Would you want to say something?
Yeah, I've got so many stories and things about Clifford that, you know, the one thing I can think that his most favorite spot was, I think I mentioned it earlier, is the new trail at Hudson Ferry Park, where the beaver dam and the field and I mean, he just loved, we would go there for lunch sometimes. You know.
That's great.
He would take the dogs and we'd walk there.
That's so good.
So
On leashes.
On leashes,
On leashes.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. No, I always.
Always on leashes.
I've
Yeah.
been grown.
I know. Yeah, she's always got her. Yeah, and his dogs, he has little dogs. So, well, yeah,
I bet they miss him.
yeah, they do, yeah.
Mhm.
And and the other thing is, my dog story with Clifford was, he and Valerie and his dogs would walk down the road almost every afternoon, and if I had my dog out in the yard, she could hear them coming, and she would charge the driveway, turn down Pineywood's Church Road as fast as she could run, and she would knock him over.
What?
Almost every time. Oh yeah, she
Not
thought it was him. Clifford, oh yeah, she'd hit him. She'd just run so excited that she would jump on him and knock him over, and she knocked him over several times. And yeah. So now she does that to Valerie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, cause she used to sleep at his feet in my kitchen in the winter. when it was
Oh my
cold.
God.
So,
Oh.
but anyway, yeah, definitely, we'll miss Clifford as a huge loss to the city and to our Parks Commission, yeah. And he genuinely was excited about everything we were doing, and it's something that's.
Anyone else? Share.
I remember meeting Clifford. It was on the first comp plan. He was on one of the committees. And he's the only, there was a group, I was in that committee, and he's the only one I remember from that.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's been good to get to know him while he served on the Parks Commission, because that was my most interaction. And I think you're right, he's so excited about, like genuinely excited
Oh, yeah.
about the stuff that y'all were doing.
Yeah.
Just goes to show, I mean, he's very selfless.
Mhm.
He's always, since the beginning, always volunteered. He was a very intelligent man. And there's not many people that I know that just love the nature and the things that he invests his life in. You can tell that what he's all about.
Yeah.
And he was just a good person. He was easy to get along with. He had some, he was smart. He had some sayings.
Yeah, well, he was in the
Slick.
middle of researching to write a new book. He had written several books. I don't know if you knew that. Clifford had. Yeah, and he was going out to Houston, sometime this summer to research. Yeah,
Was it on,
19th century nature writer
oh,
who was early 20th century. No one's written a biography on him, and he was researching and was gonna read his papers and write this biography. Yeah, so all about nature.
Yeah, like you guys, I personally met Clifford. Actually, him and Karen Hadaway at the same time, because those two were going to get together before we got a newsletter rolling and do the newsletter. And I was like, wow, who's this lady with an accent? Who's this other interesting character? We never got off the ground, and then of course you got to know them for years. And then the one thing that now I'm trained to do, thanks to Clifford, because when I send out Zoom meetings, it says you are invited to a Zoom meeting. And even though it books your calendar and a day and a time and stuff like that, Clifford always wanted it to say what this was about, what day it was on, what time it was on. So if you notice the suffix of my Zoom heading says you've been invited to a Zoom meeting for the Parks Commission on Tuesday, March 12th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall. There's like 16 prepositional phrases, so I have additional work for thanks to Clifford, but it actually was a great. When I get these things, when I have additional work, they usually end up being great recommendations that I wish I thought of to begin with. So that's the kind of guy he was. He's a helpful person, and that'll be a legacy from a Zoom standpoint for Clifford.
I will point out one thing that Dana mentioned about doing the comp plan. And I forget which meeting it was, but I know Sandra Huffmaster was organized, was part of it. And we was talking about, I guess, natural resources, and Clifford was You know, going on about saving granite outcroppings and all this kind of good stuff and saving nature and the woodpeckers and all that, you know, and save this and save that. And it happened with perfect timing, just as Sandra started to take a drink of either water or Coke. And I said, yeah, we could have some incentives, like for every 2 granite outcroppings you save, you can offer a woodpecker. And perfect timing, the Coke went out her nose and all that. But anyway, that relates to the same thing on
Yeah.
that.
Chris, do you have anything?
Chris Jones.
No more than what everyone shared here, you know, as we was working together and being on this committee, just really getting to know him, and he's definitely gonna be missed. There's no doubt about it, you know, and it's just looking at this room now, just to see that board in itself, it kind of speaks volume, you know, so. Just like to see how we can just continue his honor outside of this conversation, if it's nothing but just, you know, something put up in a park or something of that nature. I would definitely be interested to see how that could happen. Or put a little sign up in the, what is it, the outcrop here in Hutchinson Ferry that he walked in and introduced us to, or something, I don't know, but
Yeah,
Good
that's a
idea.
great idea. We should do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prof from University of West Georgia to come out and talk
Yes,
to us.
that's
and-
right.
Yeah, we-
About how
Mhm.
About with his
Yeah.
brothers and, we're
Oh,
about
good.
seeing, approaching the city and see if there was something. we could
That's a
do.
great idea. Yeah.
So I have a weekly call with them, so I'll get, I think they should be involved, they'd love to be
Family.
involved. Yeah,
That's
they, his
nice.
brothers are very close.
Everybody. Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you all. What a good meeting. Really, with us. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for bringing me.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, I'm so.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day and good week.
Bye.
The dragonflies and damn supplies was awesome.